Check it.
Okay.
Hey, how goes
We're
it,
live.
everyone? We're live. We're just getting into our sound check because this is going to be an interview episode. So we're going to sound check this, and then we're going to interview. Invite the person that we are interviewing, Dan. So let me check this. Oh, I have it still connected to the shower.
Sorry if you hear me get my water.
You're good. You're good. Well, I gotta. You're gonna have to talk anyway, so I can make sure I can hear
okay.
you too. Well, you're gonna have to talk anyway, so I can make sure I can.
All right, testing.
Yep.
Okay.
It hears you.
All right, testing. Yep. Here I come.
Here she comes. And we're a little bit early, but today is going to be a special interview episode where we are going to be interviewing a guest, probably our biggest number one fan and number one supporter. So we will send him the invite if you want to. Actually, I will do that. I will do that.
Yeah.
You follow him too, right?
Yeah, because he followed me.
I'm going to send some other invites in case other people want.
Okay, so I will. You're going to send him his invite?
Yeah, I already sent it.
How do I send
So if you
invite?
want to send people, it's the little circle. No, with the face on it, the face.
Oh, this face.
So just sending invites while we wait for Dan to come up. And then once
people, are these people I follow or who follow me?
Both.
Okay. Both.
It's just people from your friends list, I believe.
All right, I said it. That's funny because some of them I don't know who they are. This, if you're just now joining, we're a little bit early because, and also we're on Sunday instead of Saturday because, like Jason said, we are interviewing a fan, and that's one of the things that we want to start to do as we grow. So, due to some scheduling conflicts, we decided to do our podcast live on Sunday instead of Saturday.
If you want to bring him up, I don't know how to bring him. Do you know how to bring him up?
I think invite as a guest. Okay, so I sent him a guest invite.
And we will go from there.
Should come up. But we are Together Out Loud. We are a married couple. And if you're just now joining us, this is my personal TikTok, but go over and follow Together Out Loud.
Oh, here we go.
Once we get 50 followers over there, we will.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, bear with me. Don't look the greatest.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Came up. Hello.
How goes it? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It was quite the week. Once I got out of church, I had to quickly rest down as the mind was quite really boggled down, and then quickly grabbed a bite to eat. I grabbed my last bite to eat before just coming up, so I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Well, thank you.
And then also you can eat while doing it,
Right,
between questions or whatever. It's just gonna be real informal, nothing real personal or anything like that. Whatever you feel like answering, answer. If you don't feel like answering something, you just I prefer to keep that to myself.
What do you want to kind of talk about real quick? Why we wanted to start doing this kind of segment?
Like I said sorry.
I'm sorry. No.
You're good. I was just going to go over real quick. Like I said in the last episode, I want this podcast to kind of be big for the fans as well. So I want to focus a lot on being able to interview you guys and fans, friends, stuff like that. Bringing you guys up and I like to learn a lot about other people. So especially like different upbringings and different philosophies, different theologies, so on and so forth, religions even. I like learning from people. I like getting to know people. But I guess what I would like to start out with is just like maybe a little bit about you and a little bit about your upbringing.
So a little bit about myself and my upbringing itself is that I came from, I would say, a little bit of a good family, but at the same time too, as I mentioned this from beforehand, that a little bit of a broken family because my own father got remarried several different times, and after through everything that I went through and whatnot, my sister and I came to this saving knowledge of who Christ was, and then finding out later in life, like 20-some years or whatnot, that who my father was actually like for being narcissist, but also putting boundaries in place. But my upbringing, that I came from a really good Christian family as it is. A lot of my siblings did too, but I was the only one, as it may seem, to be staying in the faith for who Christ is. So it's been a little bit interesting, but I don't know if I'm not really the only one, but if any of my other siblings are really truly falling for the faith, as I'm still striving as it is. So a little bit about for who I am, and then more so too, I'm 31, married since 2023, and my wife is soon to come over here. So a lot of hand.
Oh, okay. So she still lives in the Philippines.
She's still in the Philippines. Next month she will be actually here, so I'm looking forward to it and preparing for a lot, and just waiting and striving for what comes to pass, and preparing for so much as it is. Again, it's mentally, physically, emotionally, and just so much more, and just knowing that God has the hand on so many different things. So just going forward. So yeah, that's a little bit.
That's right. Now, are you older than your sister, or are you younger?
So for a lot of my sisters, I'll be honest, I'm the baby of the family.
Oh, okay. So the youngest. So how many siblings do you have?
4 brothers, include myself, and 4 sisters as well.
Big family.
And yeah, and there's more than what meets the eye, because things that I'm not aware about for in the family and whatnot, and it's like, okay, literally, it's like there's information that my own father knows that I don't know, other siblings know that I don't know, and it's like, okay, whatever it is.
Now, what state do you live in?
Michigan.
Michigan. Oh, okay. Pennsylvania. I think I've told you this before, but I figured I'd just share it at least over here. Yeah, I've been there a bunch, driving truck through there and whatnot. She's actually the baby of the family as well, for her family. I have an older brother, older sister, and then a younger sister in my family.
And I have 2 older sisters and 3 stepbrothers.
And now you said so your mom and your dad, when did they separate? When did they end up divorcing?
Again, my mom actually, technically, with my dad's my father's last marriage, my mom had actually died right in front. How do I put this? So that way TikTok is not, hold on. So that way that TikTok is not so sensitive. My mom passed away, and after she had passed away in front of us due to brain aneurysm, it was really tough and really hard. My sister and I experienced that, and since from there, my father raised both my sister and I. And it was really, really tough, but again, that's where both my sister and I came to the saving knowledge of who Christ was. She came before I did after that, and I just know that I was saved for the summer, and I've been saved for quite some while, but still working on, even for my own faith as it is, and now my own full sister is strayed away from the faith or backslid from the faith. I did that probably only a couple years past. It was only for a very short time. I'm like, okay, this is not where I should be. I need to go back for Christ as it is. Again, a very, very short period. You're talking 6 months, probably about 6 months to a year, and that was it. I'm like, I can't do this. I gotta go back. So it hit me. I'm like, I know the truth. I gotta keep standing and go forward. So, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can relate a little bit. Except I strayed for a lot longer. I was pretty close to Jesus Christ when I was young, and then probably like once I hit like my teen years, I just started getting further and further and further away, because I cared a lot about what people think of me. So I got into drinking and smoking pot. I don't know if I can say pot. Yeah, I'm sure I can say pot, right?
Smoking
I don't know, the reefer, the ganja, whatever.
TikTok.
Yeah, well, yeah, you never know. We constantly are always looking at each other like, I don't know what's safe to say and what's not. So, but
Right.
I got into smoking and stuff like that, and unfortunately surrounding myself with people who were destroying their lives, and then I ended up also as well destroying my life. Probably all the way up into my 20s as well. I kind of had that whole invincible, like I can't be stopped kind of aspect about my life. And then I started growing back closer to the Lord when my wife and I met and got married, and
Wow.
just happy. I'm happy that I did that because I don't know if you've heard me on here speak about, like, I have like a kind of a deep nihilism in my heart and in my soul. So it's a struggle for me because I have like a almost like when I'm not fighting it, I have like just a natural hopelessness about me and about life, and kind of like a worthlessness, which has gotten better and better and better over time. It's just something that I've had to work on.
Don't mind me asking, how old are you two?
I'm 43,
40.
so we're older.
You don't look it. You don't
Well,
look
thank
it.
you. Thank you. We appreciate that. So, and then you said that you pretty much were brought up knowing Jesus Christ as Lord. And if it's not too sore of a subject, going back to it, how old were you when your mother passed away?
So I was at the age of about 6 years old when she had her brain aneurysm. My sister was about at the age of 8. I didn't know for what was going on because, again, I witnessed all of it and right in front of me. I know the place where that had happened. It was at my mom's friend's place, and she's also carried on for in life as well. But after that had happened, I'm like thinking, okay, what's going on with mom? Why is she holding her hands to her face and everything else? Because let me actually quickly demonstrate it. Let me put the phone down to do this because it's a memory that's never going to go away from me. And for demonstrating it, because when I was right in front of her, she was closing her hands to her, and all of a sudden it's like it happened too quickly. It's like then she fell to the ground, and that was it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I worked with a guy named Brandon when I worked at ACB. He said his grandfather had one, and it's crazy how those things work and how they happen. He said that he was there. I believe he said he was there, and the crazy thing about him is he was just unalive. He was passed on leaning against the wall. He said that his forehead was leaning against the wall on the stairs. It's like he turned and he just kind of leaned his head against the wall, and he was like that, but he was gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. He didn't like fall, anything like that. He was like, no.
Because it takes people so quickly.
Yeah, he was like,
how I know it. Oh yeah.
My uncle the same way. He was standing in the bathroom, and my aunt said he just collapsed. And
now, do you know, was your mother a believer, or do you not remember that or not?
So I do definitely remember she was a Jehovah's Witness and not really a believer, but she was asking a lot of questions, and with a lot of the questions she was asking, that the elders had got involved because it became so serious. And I don't know if she actually personally accepted Christ, because when I told my wife about it, she's like, "Oh, maybe mom's in heaven." I'm like, honey, I don't really know the question.
Well, yeah, because I think Mormons and Jehovah's Witness and them, I think they still believe Jesus Christ was the Son of God. I'm not 100% on that, but I that's what I thought. But I'm not certain on that.
I know Mormons believe a little bit differently than for how their theology is a little bit differently. Because again, getting into it can be deep.
Yeah, they have like the plates and stuff.
Right, and then Jehovah's Witnesses for Mary Smith for creating the entire thing. But again, I don't know all the answers given because I'd asked actually a couple people from the past when things were still to where they were at, and now looking back at it, it's like I don't have a lot of answers given. A lot of people say that, hey, she may have came to Christ. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave that in God's hands. If I decide to see her up in heaven, then I do. But if I don't, then hey, I will see my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
That's right. Amen to that. Amen to that.
Absolutely.
And at what age were you when you started turning towards the Lord, turning towards Jesus Christ?
I think that would have been, oh my goodness.
If you can remember.
It has been so long. I think either 7 or 8 because I've been saved nearly since. And this is going to really hit us all because I know the year, but the year and for the time of season it was during for summer, and the year is going to hit us all 2001. It was the time before the nation was under attack.
Oh,
9/11.
okay, with like 9/11 and stuff.
Yes.
Which I don't know if
Huge
they're
year.
flagged.
Yeah, I don't know if that's flagged or not. Which, well, I mean, because you never know. Because I know
Yeah.
you can't say Mustache Man, you can't say his real name. So, like everything, it's like I don't know what you can say and what you can't. So, anything like,
Right.
do you have any cool, interesting? So, I mean, other than that, that's a really, what can I say, devastating story. But do you have any cool, like, interesting stories about growing up and stuff like that, or like anything that?
So as I was growing up and just from day to day as it was that just trying to be able to get to know life, trying to be able to get around, the cool stories is that even though my sister was trying to help, I feel like there was a lot of times when I could tell my father was caring a lot of times, and yet it was hard because again with the things that he had going on with him and trying to be able to raise us and the mischief that both my sister and I had gotten into. So there was a lot of ups and downs for my full sister's name is Tiffany as it is, and just with everything that we went through, just it was just one thing after another. We get into a lot of our fights, and just being the age gap that we were and growing up more and more, she was just won her own different path as it was, and for my own father tried again doing the very best as it is. But once I got to that age that it was and he had brought someone into his own life, and I finally found out his true nature. I'm like, okay. And that kind of like just started to separate the boundaries. I kind of tried going on my own for living on my own and whatnot. And there was the times and places where things were kind of bumpy, not really good, and I kept on going. So it became hard. And sorry, I feel like if I'm going into like a just like a rabbit hole and not really giving so precise details, but it's the way that how when we grow up as it is that life can be sometimes really hard, because when you look at it from when your parents are when you have like a single parent trying to be able to raise for both of the kids, it can be really difficult, and then knowing now for the parents true nature from there. But yeah, it was just the quite experience, because there was other family members within who were trying to be able to help to be able to raise us, being there comforting and getting us through. And finally after that, uh, I became a lot better. I had some things that about for who I am that were really not the greatest, that had stunted me in different ways when I was with my father. But now after a good 10 years or so, I grew away from that, and there's things about me where some people will finally be able to catch on, but
Just stepping
I'm
up
not
to tell the
trying.
kids to not yell. Sorry.
So with all that comes to pass, yes, I had a lot of my ups and downs, and just again Christ being there for me, and just again growing and trying to learn many of the lessons throughout life. So yes, that is a little bit for me. I don't want to like go too much hardcore into details, but trying to give what I can,
No,
if
we,
that makes
yeah,
sense.
I appreciate it, and I know you mentioned boundaries in there, and that's a good thing. It's always it's not a negative to be able to put boundaries on people in your life when it comes to like positive, negative things that positive and negative influences in your life. Like I didn't have, I've mentioned before, I didn't have the greatest of upbringings, and there's things I'm sure you can agree as well. There are things that you had that were positive with your dad. And I would assume. Sorry, before I continue, did your dad remarry then? Did you have a stepmom as well?
My father, let's put it this way, my father had never remarried. My father had actually dated so many different type of women, because
Okay.
what he was trying to actually look for is for like a motherly type of figure for my sister and I, like time after time. But with every type of relationship, it was hard enough for him to be able to replace that mother-like figure from what my mom had, and it just never came to pass because he dated. Again, I'm not trying to be that bad spokesman to my own father, but I seen for how many people he went through, and I'm like, it just did not work out. And now where he's at for being about 70 some years old, it's like still trying to still be dating for women. I'm like, and now with all his kids growing up and myself being married, I'm like, it's like it's not really even going to bother me. If he wants to go and be with somebody as it is, then let it be so. But from that picture on, no, just it was hard to let in. It was hard for my sister to let in someone for being like a motherly figure. We had other people in our life for trying to be that like guardian type of shit like figure to both my sister and I, and others try to be there for us, but he never really even remarried, if that really makes sense. Hi, Kitty.
The cat.
Always,
He always comes up there. Yes, that does make sense, and yeah, that answered my question. But I also asked that because I feel like you got to give your dad a little bit of the benefit of the doubt as well, because of the fact that I'm sure that wasn't easy for him, and a lot of times, especially as men, I'm sure you can agree that a lot of times we suffer in silence. We don't talk to people about the things that are going on in our lives. So I would just an assumption that maybe he wasn't real open with a lot of the struggles that he had, because I know that, for instance, just as an example, God willing, nothing like that ever happens. But if anything were to happen to Samantha in that situation, I know that, I would be absolutely devastated, and
Absolutely.
you have so many things, you have so many difficult things to look at in your life that you now have full responsibility of, and that is, like the bills, also raising the kids, rearing the kids, taking care of the kids, getting them to school and stuff like that. I can't even imagine the struggle that he had, and I feel for him in a way.
And don't mind me asking, is that even though that my father tried being with for my sister and I both through while we were growing up, it was still hard, because even though that there were so many different things going on for my own sister's life and my life, that yes and no, that he was and wasn't there in a lot of cases, scenarios, and just left it behind, and kind of had the patience and whatnot. But being the different things about for who he was, it's like it was just I got to see for the true nature for who he was from my other siblings, and then from them saying that, hey, this has happened, and him trying to tell me, hey, I'm trying to be a better person, whatnot. I'm like, and it's just, again, when I feel like whenever I come in contact with him, that again, I feel like it's just the same stories that he's saying that he's changing. But again, when you take off that mask from the narcissist, you can actually see the true nature. So that's why it's, again, I keep the boundaries that I have, him being for that con artist that he had used to be, for all the different things, and just so much more on top of that too. I don't want to get so deep as it is, but if it has to be, I don't really mind sharing him going into handcuffs for at times when he's done things that he shouldn't have done, where there's just so many different things. He went to the military, did things that he shouldn't have done, and all these stories that I have remembered, that it has just really gotten to me, and just shown that for who he was back in the past, and him trying to be able to change, and all different mistakes. And it's like, okay, I get it, and he's trying to be a lot better father, but at the same time too, that if I try to re-letting him back into my life, I don't want to have myself where I'm coming back down and just on a downward spiral, because he has a lot of just different health, different type of issues, stuff that he has to work with in his own life, and to come to more drawing near for Christ as it is. So there's a lot that he's got to do. And again, I'm not trying to talk bad, but it's just the experiences that I have had with him through just the time being, because before I knew about his true nature, that it was just really hard. And again, my mother's name was Juanita, so she was just trying to be able to help to be able to take care of Tiffany the very best I can, and it went from there. And that's where just being with for other family members and whatnot, and just feeling like being for myself, because as everything came through, that as I became much older in age, becoming like an adult, trying to be able to drive and such whatnot, that the gal who he had brought over from like another country itself said, "Oh, because I remember the conversation that her and I had when we were at Burger King from at one point, saying that she was saying, oh, I can tell that you feel a lot better for not being around your dad, that you feel just relaxed and everything else." And I'm like, I do, because it's helping me to be able to heal. It's like the demonstration that where I'm figuratively speaking, where you have a cup and then you have wine in it, and then you take water and just let the water run through, and over time, it takes time to be able to heal and have all that just to be crystal clear water. So it was like for myself, giving the time to be able to have myself to be able to heal from all, again, the trauma that I went through, all the stuff that I went through, and it's still taking a little bit because I'm not there yet for talking to my dad as it is, because normally when I'm around him, I'm not like really not acknowledging him as it is, but I know when my wife comes, I'm going to have to somehow open up and chit chat with him, but also still keep those boundaries, because it's just, if I didn't keep the boundaries and just let everything out to him, then it's not going to be so very much healthy. So I'm sure you two understand.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
absolutely.
And I pray for him, and I'm sure you pray for him as well. So that brings me to another question. Now, does he know Christ? And if he does not, have you spoken to him at all
He
about
does
Jesus?
know, yes, he does know Christ. Yes, he's been walking for the fellowship for who God is, and I don't know what his walk is like right now, currently with for Christ itself, but I'm sure he's doing and striving for his best. And to this point in time, I don't really know. I couldn't give an answer, but as far as I know, I'm sure he's probably trying to draw himself closer to Christ, and wherever the case may be. But that's not on me to be able to figure out fully. But I've been more focused on for my life as it is, and knowing that I know he's my father, just keeping him at a just a safe distance. And again, last time I seen him was at his first ex-wife's passing for the funeral, where there was no like, hey, casket opening and whatnot, but just had seen them and just didn't really acknowledge him, just let it be and just talk to other people. So again, just taking that time, and I'm not fully all there for being ready for just talk to him as normal. I've talked to him here and there, but I'm not all yet ready. It's just a little bit more healing as it is. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
because
That makes sense.
and the reason why is because I'm gonna open up, and this is something a lot of people do and don't know about me, because back when I used to be with living with him, I used to have it where I had a lot of different things about myself wrong. Like one thing, had a hard time speaking as it was, because a lot of people from my family know it. It's like, let me give an example. It's like Jesus when he was in front of for his hometown, that they only saw him as for the son of Joseph, but when he was out and about with other people, that they saw him as the son of God. It's like being around from my family. My family knows for who I am, but then being around for other people, it gives me the chance to just be for who I am. So that's what I'm saying. When I was around him, and the things that it's done to me for the growth and whatnot, for just had a hard time speaking, had to go through speech therapy and everything else, that brought me forward and getting me through, and the healing that, hey, I could improve myself, kept pushing myself, and then also for just learning differently from everybody else, where I'm hands-on learning and just see things just differently. So just two things that are just no different than from everybody else. So that's who I am.
And I just want to touch a little bit on how you said, like, because like you're a different person from, because your family, because you live with them, they know who you are, but at the same time also sometimes they can assume that they know who you are. That's kind of how I felt in my upbringing a little bit, because there wasn't a whole lot of conversations growing up for me.
Same with me.
Like no one really asked how I was doing, and I think that that's important when it comes to children. Actually, since I'm bringing up children, do you and the wife plan on having children? Is that or do you have any
Yes.
yet?
Yes, we do definitely plan on having children as it is, and I'm hoping that a lot of when we have children, that we can actually upbring them in the Lord in the right way. and they won't have any type of what you would call, excuse me, they won't have anything like wrong with them as it is, but if that may be the case of having anything wrong, we can be able to work through that as it is. It's Lord willing. It's
Try not to
all
cause any trauma on them.
trauma or anything else on that, because I've already gone through much of that trauma, took that healing, and if something may be wrong with them when they are born, let's say for anything that ran through the bloodline, because with my own sister's children, she has actually, with the one of her kids, she has something going on with him, which is being autistic as it is. So, stuff is running through the bloodline, not just with for her kids, but also with for uh, my cousin's kid too. So, yeah, a little bit's running through the bloodline, and I'm hoping that that does not happen to my wife and I for our kids when we have kids of our own, but can't really guarantee it because I know that God's in control and just we'll have
Amen.
to be able to work through it.
That.
So continue on to your next question. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Listen, it's like just like open and that, like if I think about something as you're saying it, that's why I wrote something down because I don't want to interrupt you either as you're telling your story because this is more about you, less about us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm enjoying it. So out of curiosity, what would you like for kids? How many and what would you like as far as like 2 boys and a girl or just curious?
To be honest, I'm just gonna hand it over to the Lord.
That's good.
If the Lord gives us a bunch of them, then let it be so, because I'm willing to be able to go into that pathway and having quite a few kids. If it's a couple of boys or a couple of girls, then let it be so, because I don't want to jinx myself and be like, that we're gonna have this many, but then more so come to pass, because from my wife's culture, that they're big on having family. Here again, as a time and time again, as I've told my own wife, I'm like, okay. It's big on family. Others from the family say, "Hey, we can't wait to be able to see you guys to be able to have kids." I'm like, I know, and I understand that I'm getting also up in that age where I'm at 31, and my wife is going to be turning 33 this coming up in May. So there's much to happen, but at the same time too, when she comes, I want to be able to have that bonding where not like exactly like so quickly having a kid like that, but having that bonding, knowing each other, knowing how we are with each other, because times when I went back and forth to the Philippines, yeah, it's like I had that small little bit of bonding and everything else, but when we're doing it or for a video chat when we do it, it can be a little difficult because I don't get to show a lot of for some of my love languages, but kind of in a way. So yeah, it's just again, however many God gives us as is. I don't want to get off too much off track off that, but just if God blesses us with a good amount of kids, and let it be so. But hopefully can have some boys, so that way it carries on for the last name for the Grote name, and girls, so let it be so. So, oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. Now, what do you think of the Philippines? I've never been there.
So the Philippines, like comparing to America, nothing bad to say or whatnot. That when I went there for the first time, there is again like how we have in America. There is not like the R word for being for the R word itself, for being racist or all these other shenanigans that are going on, like what we have in America. If you were to put everything that's going on here in America in the Philippines, that's not going on. It's like everyone's very kind, very friendly, very loving, there with people and whatnot, helping them be able to get through, and no one's divided. But when coming in here, it's different. The currency, yes, if you took our American dollar over there, it's going to go far. You're going to be able to use it in a lot of different ways. So it's amazing. It's a beautiful country, and for our country's like for Singapore, because our money doesn't go far right now. So it's like we are king and queen in the Philippines. So yeah, it's quite nice.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I know Theo calls the Filipinos the happiest people on the planet. That's what he says. At least they're always smiling and they're always happy. But so you spoke a little bit about like financial differences as far as like taking money from here and there, it stretches out a lot further. But just out of curiosity, so how's like the climate and the weather and stuff like that? I mean, I know they're islands. It's a group of islands, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
So the climate over there, it's very beautiful. It's sunny all the way around. They can have the tropical times as it is, and getting through all that. And I think believing during for May and June, where everything becomes tropical, where they have a lot of rain and everything else, and makes them all sleepy. So it's always nice over there. But a lot of them from the Philippines are wanting to come here to America because to be able to have more opportunities. Because here's the thing: in the Philippines, they have to work twice as hard just to be able to get somewhere because the money itself, again, with them, it would seem like it goes far. They don't have the ability of as much buying power as what we do, but that's why they come over here for a lot more opportunities and get somewhere and try to be able to send funds back over there. So it's quite nice. There's a lot over there, and just the friendliness and whatnot. And I'm looking forward to America being more so to having more of that there too. So yes.
That's good. That was actually going to be my next question. Is there any inkling in you that you might go over there instead, or is it like no, she's going to come over here?
She's going to come over here, and actually, how you're actually speaking on that, she actually had bought her flight ticket. She's actually going to be coming here by next month. So with all that coming to pass, there's a lot to get ready to. Preparation, again, just saving up as much as I can. I got ahead on what bills I can, taking care of a lot of things at hand and whatnot, and her just realizing, hey, it's coming faster because by next month, March 25th is when she comes, touches down, and it's going to be really late at night. So it's going to be where I'm going to be probably quite tired, and from there, but yeah, we've been working through this entire visa process for some while, and I've had the wrong type of people heckle at me during for everything that's going on. I'm like, okay, people, we're going through the right way, blah 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 blah. So it's just at that point where, hey, March is finally coming around the corner, and she's going to be here and be able to experience many other people. So hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does, and that's awesome. And I can also understand like the part of like I'm sure, especially at a difficult time like this with ICE and all of the stuff that's going on with that. So I can understand that that would probably be, I guess, a nuisance in the situation. I guess.
Indeed. And to actually add to that too, how you're actually speaking about ICE, how so many people have been blatantly just mean to so many people who have actually gotten vetted into the right process, that again, like I said, so a lot of people be negative towards me, being how they are to me, saying, oh, well, now you're not wishing me the greatest or whatnot, because again, with myself as doing for rideshare and getting into conversations and whatnot, I've had some really bad riders, and just getting rid of them and whatnot, because taking them for airports. But besides all that, the fair share of different people, and I still stick it out because so many people just have that negative Nancy type of mindset. I try to be positive and say, hey, we're going through the right process, instead of people going through the wrong type of process and not being vetted and everything else. And we waited for a good 2 years, and we did everything right, and now it's coming to tuition.
And I also think it's amazing because I know, this isn't to bash the women here of America, but it's not quite as easy to find women here either that have like good morals and good values, I guess, so to speak. So I would assume, I guess maybe that'd be a good question to ask. What are some differences in her values and her traditions as opposed to like maybe some women that you've met here? Because I would assume that there is probably some pretty big differences. And again, this isn't like hey, let's all attack American women together. But like, I mean, because really there's a lot of guys that are doing that, you know? So, and then like the funny part about that, the ironic part about that is that women here are like getting upset about it, but it's like, but you have to kind of change your culture and your traditions and stuff and your morals in order to get it back to, I guess a positive outcome, as far as relationships go.
Mm-hmm.
So to all that as it is, her tradition, my tradition as it is. So here's the thing. This is interesting how you brought it up. So over there, yes, the Philippines are very much family knitted and close together. Here, we're not in that same way where all family is separate and everything else. And time after time too, my wife is like, "Hey, honey, try to bring up better relationship with this person, or go and do this." I'm like, honey, I tried over and over. So here I've kept on trying to tell her, I'm like, hey, family isn't like this or whatnot, like how it would be in the Philippines. Their traditions are like, hey, for having a good time, I'm just going to use for the like just the sign language as for taking this and then and going like that and be like, hey, let's have a good time and whatnot and all these other different things as it is. So try just to be able to relieve stress. They are also big on karaoke and just so many different things. But again, nothing bad said towards them because again, their traditions from how the Philippines are to here in America are just two different things. They're big on family, to having a lot of family. They're big on wanting to be able to send their loved ones to college here. College is not for everyone. I tried telling her, I'm like, honey, college isn't for everyone. It's like, I tried going down the path because I tried doing CDL for being as a truck driver. I'd gotten into a little bit of an accident on my hand, self-accident, and that pulled me away from it. And God used that to close doors and open up other opportunities, being closer to home. And I'm like, honey, you gotta go back to trucking. I'm like, honey, my record is not gonna allow me to, because after what had just happened, the police officer handed me a ticket and saying, hey, this is for damaging property. I'm like, doggone it. And after that,
it happens.
It definitely does. And going forward, it's like another thing too is that they don't easily forget. They don't easily forget things. They get easily mad or tempo, like easily upset, sensitive, and whatnot because of how their traditions. But for ourselves, we don't show a lot of emotions as it is, and a lot of times too, I have to be what I can do for being emotionally intelligent at given time. So I'm trying to do the very best I can for just again the different things for the traditions there in the Philippines to here in America, and be like, okay, we're gonna have to meet someone in the middle. So there's a lot of things to work through because marriage is a huge playing part, and I believe that once I'm finally united for my wife, things will go a whole lot better, because when we were together there in the Philippines, it was going nicely, it was going smoothly, and things were going wonderfully. But then when coming back here, it was hard enough. And now since I've been back here, since the last time when I was back in the Philippines, because I celebrated Christmas and also for New Year's over there, Christmas in Singapore and New Year's in Manila. And now not being over there for a good year and everything going on, again, like all couples, ups and downs and everything else and whatnot. So trying to do my best and then trying to find something a lot better. But again, I told my wife, economy is really hard. It's going to be hard to look for something more. So a lot of tradition and values that are just quite different. And that's why, again, right now I've built a lot different mindset for trying to better myself. And I'm going to just show for one of the things, because I'm sure you two probably know of this writer itself.
That I do not. Now, what's that about?
Kiyosaki. So he is the initial writer for Rich Dad Poor Dad and for how to with what schools don't teach for being financially knowing financial stuff and everything else and becoming financially free. Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Sorry, I'm writing it down. That's why I asked. You can continue.
No, you're good. He has an entire series of mini books. Let me actually see if I can get the one I'm talking about. Because I do have it here.
And
Yes,
you mentioned
it's right
rideshare,
here.
so is that what you're doing right now, out of curiosity?
Truck driving? No, I'm actually just doing complete all rideshare.
Rideshare,
full-time.
yeah,
Rideshare,
that's what I meant.
rideshare. Uber, yes.
Yeah, Uber. So how long have you been doing that? Just out of curiosity.
I've been doing that since from last year of June.
Okay, I'm asking because do you have any interesting stories with any people who you've given rides
Yes,
to?
I do. I have so many different interesting stories. I've had interesting stories where with riders when they've sat up in the front and then just being just strange at times, and then also being on video chat with my wife during for a while, just giving people a ride and not being comfortable and thinking that I was recording the ride. I'm like, no, I'm not recording. I've had other people too who are not happy with just the ride, just this. So many from stupidity things to good, nice rides and whatnot, and people give me bad ratings and everything else. I'm like, it's whatever. So
I
it's
can imagine.
from so many different. It's from many different rides. So it's like that's why I try to be flexible as I can. Try to greet people. Saying, hey, how's your day? Getting them to where they need to go to. Sometimes, too, I'm dealing with riders that smell like if they were up in the clouds, if you know what I mean. 420.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You ever have anybody try to like smoke while they're in there?
No, but when they come in the car, it is so strong. It's like,
and I'm sure intoxicated individuals as well.
Yes, intoxicated. I've had people say, "Oh no, turn." I'm like, can you not be a backseat driver here for me? So I've had all those type of things, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you probably can't tell that I'm drunk." I'm like, I did not need to know that, but okay, bye.
Well, I pray for you, and I hope you stay safe out there. I actually enjoy watching some of those videos on YouTube where it'll show like just these outrageous passengers with it, just do crazy stuff. Like I'm like, I just can't even. I can't imagine and can't believe that people have the audacity to do some of the things that they do. It's crazy. Like, barfing out the window, stuff like that as they're driving. Or a lot of the ones that I see a lot of is the canceling it like mid-ride. They'll like cancel it.
I've had that happen.
Yeah.
I've had that happen because a lady was actually trying to add multiple stops to her, another stop to it. And then she actually canceled it. I'm like, lady. And good thing too, I was using Google Maps. I'm like, I got her where she wanted to, and some of those times I get paid for the ride. Other times too, where they didn't get paid, then I have to go to the next rider. I'm like, and sometimes things messes up because again, back when I used to do rideshare before I got into truck driving, drivers were getting paid a lot more. So here's the thing with Uber. Drivers used to get paid a lot more before now because Uber, you would think that Uber and for the financial type of stuff saying, oh, we're paying you drivers a lot of money. But in actuality, whenever I'm asking for the riders, hey, how much are you guys paying and everything else? And they're like, wow, you guys are not getting paid very much. I'm like, no, because Uber took that away. Sorry, Uber, nothing against you.
No, but also there's people I've heard about this where there's also people who won't work for a company at all, and they'll go there and undercut your guys' business, and that's a lot of the reason also too is where they struggle making money is because why are you gonna pay Uber this much when it's so much more than some random, which is dangerous too though. But sometimes you'll just have a stranger that will like park at the airports in like popular places and be like, hey, where do you need to go? Yeah, you give me $25, I'll bring you there, and it ends up being cheaper than
absolutely. And that's what I've been literally doing because I've been with so many people as it is. I've been giving them my personal number, telling them that hey, if you need a ride, and try to get more of the money from it because usually when people do book the ride and when I get it, I get it only at so much, and also again, pennies of insurance be able to come out of that. Then you have to also think of all the wear and tear and everything else. So lately too, I've been just asking people, hey, how much for this, whatnot? Hey, do you want your own personal Uber and whatnot? And try to be able to buck the system because I've been doing that with quite a few people. Some people just I've not heard back from anymore. There's been only a couple people I've not heard back from because couple of them that I was supposed to be able to give them rides, and then something entirely different happened, and others have been really good clients. So with having the off cuff rides as it is, it's helped me financially because it's helped to, let's say if I needed maintenance under the vehicle or whatnot, I had just that little bit of money to be able to go and do something, or go use what they gave me as for cash to go and fuel up, instead of always trying to, hey, go back to using the money from Uber or whatnot. Because after each and every ride that as us drivers do, we get paid out automatically, and going from there. And sometimes people tip, sometimes people don't, where they think, hey, we're getting paid getting paid a whole lot, and a lot of drivers are expecting for tips. And now when I look back at this, I'm like thinking, okay, when I took Uber from all the times past, I didn't realize that, hey, they were not making it. But when I look back at it too, I'm like thinking, okay, I think they're probably getting a huge portion of it, but now us drivers are not getting the portion that we need. So it's not really being a whole lot fair as it is, and putting so much money, because I'm busting my butt in order to be able to make so much money and put so much money for all the wear and tear and everything else that goes into it. And I've tried doing a lot what I can to keep afloat. But yeah, sorry if I went overboard.
No, you're good.
No.
That's the reason why I like asking the questions. I like learning about it, and I think it's cool also though that you explained to anybody watching and anybody who listens to this later that, because it's also eye opening to everybody that they'll hear from you, someone who works for Uber, and they'll understand like the ins and outs of it, and kind of the devastating part of it that is not really having like a livable wage, where
Right.
they're more surviving. They're more trying to survive off of tips. It's almost similar to like waiters and waitresses, where it's just like you're hoping for the best, and it's that helps me to know that something that I might not have known before is that like if I ever get an Uber or something like that these people need those tips, that it really helps them out.
Absolutely. And let me
But
give you
you seem very ambitious, so I know that you'll be successful in
Absolutely.
anything you do. So,
Jason, let me give you another example. Like, for example, if someone were to book an Uber from, let's say, all the way here from Flint to the airport, to the Detroit airport, they would be probably paying a good $100. The rider themselves would be getting paid only like either 53 or a little bit more, because it also depends on for the variation for the time being when that was booked, and going from there. So again, I've had some people that, because I have to also speak out a lot of times, and I'm also on video chat with my wife, that sometimes that I can't at times speak out, because whenever I speak out and say, hey, please don't forget to rate and whatnot, my wife thinks I'm going to say something wrong or whatnot, which will cause for the rider and I to get a tiffy, because again, that she's just trying to look out for me in so many different ways. But besides that factor is that I tell them that, hey, rate leaving a good star rating and also leaving a good tip usually always helps. And say if it's on that type of big ride, I've had it where only a couple riders from the past. Let me give a demonstration. When it was Black Friday from last year, during when everything was going on, I had taken an adventure on to the Great Lakes Mall, and oh my gosh, it was backed up. It was all full. There was security and everything else, and I had a hard time getting in. It took 30 minutes just to get in. Got the rider, and the trip was like a good like $15. That $15 turned to $27. Plus that rider had tipped me 50 some dollars, and because it took a good an hour and 30 minutes just to be able to get out. I'm like saying, I'm so sorry, everything else for this delay, and that happened, and everything went up, and it was a good day after that. So proceeding forward, yes, the tips definitely greatly help, because when Uber takes away from the riders, depending for how big or large it is, it helps bring more revenue as it is, and to be able to work with more of just the drivers as it is. But when they're not tipping, let's say that for myself, I've gone without a lot of good tips for several days on end that people have not been tipping me or giving me very much for in cash or whatnot, and I've had to go into my like what I've made from Uber, put in the gas, and everything else, and then just balance out for financially what I can be able to do and figure that all out, and still strive to be able to be strong through all that. So it can be quite a lot. I try to be a professional at a lot of just different things, and that's why usually whenever I go and start the day off with Ubering too, I have it as there's a filter on my end where I don't allow any riders who have a lower rate than 4.9. I try to tell Uber, hey, give me riders who have a higher rating than 4.9 or better, because when riders have that lower rating, something is wrong. Let's say that they're or whatnot, or the case
or just
may be.
rude, unruly.
Correct, and it has helped to get a lot better riders and everything else, and still I get a couple of those bad type of riders, but yes, that is that.
Now, on a good night, I wrote this down. What works better for you guys when you're out there? Then is it like a lot of short hauls, like if you're doing like a lot of like 5-10 mile hauls, or do you guys want like those longer hauls? Because you mentioned like 100 miles. Is that like your better nights? Is when you get the real long hauls, or when you're kind of like all over the place, but it's like 5 miles here, 5 miles there, 5 miles here, 5 miles there?
So the little ones for the short little hauls, let's say if it's like $3 to $6, it adds a lot for the car. A lot of drivers prefer for long rides because there's more potential. It makes the time go a lot quicker, better tip and everything else, and more money being achieved, and a whole lot better. And that's why I really love the longer hauls as it is. But what the riders don't understand that we're getting so much profit, and so I love the longer hauls because the longer haul that it may be, it's better. Another quick little story as it is, just from last week or the week from before, I had got such a long haul that it was almost a $200 Uber ride, because when I was at the airport, I'm like, oh my gosh, it came in at about $169-$700. And after I had picked up the person, they had smelled like, and I'm like, okay, let's get to a gas station. I'm gonna try to work with this best I can. Once I got out, I had a scent bomber where I could spray it in the back of the vehicle. I'm like, okay, let's get rid of the scent. Let's get air fresh a little bit here and whatnot. They went inside. I'm like, this was a good time for using the restroom, blah, blah, blah. I got them to where they needed to, Cincinnati, Ohio, but I did not get back until 11 something at night. I was tired as like crazy, getting up still almost quite early in the morning time. So, and there was no tip because from the person who had booked it, it was her niece, and she said, oh, I only had enough money to be able to book it. I'm like, stink. So yeah. I'd used up a lot of gas for going all the way down that way, then coming back, and did what I could. But again, God has blessed it in such ways where for those who I'm off-cuff riders with, who need rides, that kind of helps to be able to make up for it, because it's all by God's grace that I'm keeping afloat and working through things and trying to make all the extra money, and where tips and all these other different things come and help out. So I enjoy it.
That's good. That's good. And I'm always happy to hear how much you trust in God and just put all of that trust and all that faith into the Lord. I struggle with that sometimes, especially when things go wrong. That's one of my biggest struggles, is something goes wrong and then I just lose it. I catastrophize and just let things kind of wear me down, and it can be exhausting as well, So it's nice to be able to just kind of relax and put that trust off into the Lord. But going back to your wife now, is she bilingual, out of curiosity?
You mean like where she can speak English and also Tagalog?
Is that the language they speak? Thank you, because that was going to be my next question.
So yes, she can definitely speak her own language. She can definitely speak for her province language, and she's also good for speaking for English too. She's well rehearsed at speaking English, so Yep, I've heard her speak quite a bit in Tagalog, Bisaya, and I can only speak so much into both those languages because it's so just quite a bit. I'll put it that
Well,
way. It's like, can you
give us a little bit. Give us a little bit.
Let's say, for example, if I wanted to be able to say "I love you" to my wife in her language, I'd be saying "mahal na mahal kita" or "mahal kita," and there's other words I've forgotten because as when I'm speaking so much in English and not in Tagalog, since not being with her, a lot of words I've kind of forgotten. I feel bad because I'm too much used to the English language, and a lot of those words like just slip over the head and be like, not good.
That's pretty cool.
So,
That's pretty cool.
yes.
I'm really happy that I asked that because, listen, I probably sound stupid for saying this, but if I were to guess like the language they speak there, I would have said Filipino. Like I would have been like, I don't know Filipino. So Tagalog, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Oh, we got a little puzzle thing going on. She has to do the puzzle thing, but yeah, and just this story relates a little bit. When I went to college at Penn Tech. There was a Vietnamese guy, Chen Nguyen. He went to school there as well, and I was curious about his language as well, Vietnamese, and he was just trying to teach me like a little bit. But I know Bunganye is hello, like that's hi or what's up, Bunganye. But they can just be so difficult because, like, for instance, then they have like 7 different A's, and to my untrained ear, it all sounds the same to me, like and I'm like, yeah, that all sounded the same. And he's like, no, listen, and he would do it again, and I'd be like, no, yeah, that all sounded like the letter A to me, and he's like, no, it's all different. He was a good dude though. He was missing fingers because he had a M80 accident. He lit an M80 and went to throw it and didn't get it out of his hand in time and blew 3 of his fingers off. But, yeah, he was really good at soccer too. But yeah, I thought that was cool. But Ganye, that's how you say what's up or hello in Vietnamese.
Wow, I would never have known that. There's so many mixed just languages that are out there that we would probably have a hard time even being able to talk in, because from other countries they have a hard time talking English as being for not their native language as it is, but many other people out there do definitely know how to be able to speak English, so I definitely understand it. At times my wife gives me a hard time, like she's like, oh, I can't speak English, I don't want to speak. I'm like, honey,
yeah, and they say ours is a lot harder because, like, I've heard from a lot of people say that ours is a lot harder because of the fact that we have so many words that mean the same thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get confused with that.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I don't know. Can you think of anything that you want to ask as well?
Yeah, you asked.
I'm enjoying the conversation. It's a struggle trying to, because like we've bobbed and weaved through so many different topics. So like sometimes I want to bring it back to something else. But just for pure comedy. Because Theo asks this a lot, so I'm going to steal this a little bit from Theo Vine. Do you remember your first kiss?
Are you referring to with my wife or with...
Like your first kiss in life in general, just your first kiss ever?
It's been too long.
See, mine was in first grade, so I'll tell you about mine. Mine was in first grade. It was a girl named Brittany, and I always bring the story up because it makes me laugh. But my buddies Billy and Kyle, they like made a circle around us in like this little nook, like this little corner of the school, and they're like, of course, friends. You know, your buddies are like, kiss her, come on, kiss her. And I'm all shy, little first grade, yeah. And they're like, come on, dude, kiss her, and I did it, and they lost their minds. They're like, yeah. But I always think it's funny because Theo asks all his guests that, and it's always like a good story. But that was mine. Do you remember yours?
That's awesome. Yeah, it's because I've had so many from in my own life as it is that I couldn't really narrow it down for my first kiss was, because being so young as what it was. But I'm sure it's out there, and for having that, it's like just we build up so many memories that I literally can't really put a good placement on it, but it's there for having my first kiss. So it's it was just really young, and
Yeah, that happens. I
yeah.
mean, and especially it's hard to remember a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
but I just have like little things here and there that kind of stand out to me, and that's one that I just I remember my whole life just because it's funny. But
Because your buddies were cheering you on.
yeah, my buddies were cheering me on, and also like as she got older, I think it's funny that she remembered it as well because I can't remember exactly who I was talking to, but it was a friend of hers, and they were like, "You were Brittany's first kiss," and I just started cracking up because like I'm like late teen, adult now.
Oh,
So
okay.
the fact that like she remembered that as well was pretty funny.
Wow, that's awesome. That really is awesome.
We're so tired.
Bear with me.
Oh, that's okay. But
Continue. I'm just trying to get. It's like my ear has built up all that like grimy type of junk and whatnot.
oh yeah, I get that from when I wear them for when I'm out truck driving, and I'll get like stuff stuck inside there, or like sometimes I have to go like that so that it stops sliding because it'll start to like slide out of my ear.
Yeah.
You said about a CDL now. Did you? So how long did you end up driving truck for?
I drove trucks since from 2022. I drove with many other different companies such as Western Express, US Express, Unlimited Freight, Variant, and then that was really then also Pascal Truck Lines. And Pascal Truck Lines was my very last trucking job because when I had my accident from them, they said when I had got my ticket from the accident that had happened, destroying part of for just road property as it was coming through Ann Arbor area, was given that ticket. Then when I placed that ticket in, the community came together and said that, hey, we're firing you, goodbye, and have a good life. So, excuse me, that was the end of that.
Yeah. I asked that because that's what I do for a living. I've been driving truck for 12 years now. But yeah, I started out over the road, and you meet a lot of good characters out there and see a lot of crazy stuff out there. But that's why I was curious about that. But unless you have anything that you want to ask us or anything you're curious about,
I was going to ask one quick question as it is. How long have you two been married for?
10
years.
10 years, yep. It was 10 years in December.
10 years in December, yep. 4 days after my birthday. It was 10 years. Oh, I was also going to mention before I continue, speaking of birthdays, your wife's coming in on my brother's birthday. My brother's birthday is March 25th.
Oh!
So that's pretty cool. But yeah, yep, December 20th was our 10-year anniversary, and we were like, you know what, let's start doing a podcast.
We were together for 3 months before we got married.
Yeah. I asked her to marry me 3 months after we were dating for 3 months, and then I asked her to marry me. It all moved really quick. It was I guess the best way to explain it is when it's right, it's right. Like God is going to set you on your path because I mean, I was on a path of destruction even at that time, which I haven't drank for 9 years now. This month. Wow. Falcons Patriots Super Bowl was the last time I drank, but I was destroying and ruining my life with alcohol and stuff like that. But
and also speaking of too is that's the thing that from over in her culture that they like to enjoy for times like let's say like trying to be able to wind down or have a good time, have a drink or two. But it's where I'm trying to help my own wife say that over here because drinking when you are like having alcohol or whatnot or those type of things that people look at others differently because it's going to be consuming and it could destroy someone's life and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just trying to help her understand. I get that she would be using it for just to wind down and everything else, but it's like would not want to rather have it going in that type of way because so many people just use it and then drink. Again.
Yeah, my brother, it started ruining his life. Me, it was ruining my life. I'm happy that I quit. I was so over the hangovers and all of that and like losing memories and especially with like having kids and stuff. I want to be able to be a part of their lives and remember them growing up and build memories with them. That's why I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys. Like I can't wait till she comes over here for you. And I hope you guys build a family together. And it's just amazing. It's just so much fun and you get to build so many memories together.
So I have a question for you two. When you two met and everything else, since I know how marriage is not really easy, did you guys have a lot of your guys' ups and downs and nooks and crannies and everything else that you went through?
think the first year.
And the first year was pretty tough just because I was still getting over an ex. I was still drinking, and I was very, I had a, I shouldn't say had because I still kind of, I have to fight it, but I had a very self-sabotaging personality
Yeah.
where like I think I'm worthless and I think nobody loves me. I'd be better off unalived and I'd be better off, people's lives would be better off without me in it. So it took a lot of, so the first year that made that difficult. But she's really good with help. She has always been really good with helping me through it and helping me to like find the answers myself rather than like trying to give me the answers and not giving up. She never gave up on me. And actually she's the first person who never has, because like a lot of my other relationships, I mean, there are other ones.
Oh.
Why is it restricted?
Oh, because you said unalive.
It must be mad that I said unalived. But now I lost my train. The thing popped up, made me lose my train of thought. But a bunch of my other exes now, some of them, of course, they broke it off. But then some of them I did self-sabotage, but they all gave up on me. And she's the only person that really, like, I guess saw a potential in me of who I could become, I guess, so to speak. And I know like we got married three months in, but it's because even through like all of my problems and everything, I knew I wanted to be with her, and I knew that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her and marry her. So, I mean, we even married through my difficulties, but like, at that time I was slowly starting to work on it and slowly starting to find out who I truly was, I guess, so to speak.
And I kind of just felt like we all have trauma from growing up or past relationships and things like that. And I really felt like a lot of the reason behind his drinking was escape and trauma. And so I felt like, not to like make you a victim or whatever, but I felt like it wasn't entirely his fault. He had to figure that out. And he also...
Yeah, we can't fully blame it on drinking, but also, like, I wouldn't have done a lot of the things that I did if I wasn't drinking, It loosens up that frontal lobe and makes you just, I mean, you do stupid stuff. You really do. Like, you just, it's not, and you just don't care. You just kind of think about it in a sense of, like, that's a problem for future Jason to worry about.
And it was one of those where I knew that you could find something to cope with whatever made him drink, because I felt like that was a coping mechanism, and honestly our faith helped a lot.
That helped a lot too.
He got me back into going to church. Before I met him, I hadn't gone to church since I was like maybe eight years old.
Wow.
And I don't remember like anybody really teach me about Jesus, but I knew about Jesus, and my family were believers, but they didn't go to church, and they weren't like, they didn't read the Bible. We prayed at night going to bed, but it wasn't something that was important in our lives. But like, I had a lot of like, emotional abandonment, I would say. So really praying in Jesus, when a lot of times I was left to my being alone and figuring stuff out, like my faith got me through those hard times. And so when we met, he took me to the church. You went there growing up, right?
Yeah, Emmanuel Baptist.
So, and that really helped me. I think it helped our relationship a lot, is together getting closer to the Lord. And I think that's important in marriages as well. I think that is what should be the center of every marriage.
It's like the Jesus Christ quote of building your house on a rock as opposed to building your house on sand. Jesus Christ is that rock. He's that solid foundation that you want to build your house on. And I'm far from perfect. I'm not saying that as in like everything in my life I turn to Jesus. I'm not perfect. I still sin. I still do a lot of stuff that I don't want to do. But I'm a work in progress. I constantly stress that I'm a work in progress, and I just keep working on it.
Absolutely, we're also a work in progress. I have my faults as it is, going down and whatnot, and still strive to be a whole lot better. So that's amazing how you guys do found each other and how you guys are made for each other and everything else, and it's really truly amazing. And thank
thank
you
you.
for the beautiful story.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Thank you for being interested.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can close it off with that, and I would definitely love to have you up again. Maybe
Absolutely.
later on in time. Hopefully, after the wife's here and maybe some kids and stuff. That would be interesting and fun and amazing. Or even bring you and the wife on. That would even be fun too.
Absolutely. If she's not too shy, because she has that tendency of being shy, so give me that time to be able to come up and be able to tell her, hey, I know these two people from TikTok itself, so I want her to be able to come forth and building all that together. So I'm sure it will all work together. So
yeah, and I'm happy that we exchanged numbers now that you and I, so I can actually get in touch with you personally through a phone rather than always messaging on TikTok and stuff like that. So I appreciate your friendship. I thank you for it.
Yes, thank you for coming up today.
And absolutely, and thank you for your guys' friendship. Thank you for the TikTok content that you put up for your walks and everything else, and just trying to still be encouraging and uplifting that you do.
That's what we're trying to do.
Don't let that go and just keep strong, because how I got through all that, because I had some instance where throughout for my own life as being a lot younger, being back in 20s, I'm gonna close up with this, that I was also slightly in the same spot from what you were, but not even that close, as I was around the wrong crowds, wrong groups and everything else, people who would use me and whatnot for money and all these different things, and I got through it. Now a lot better stage, and if I were to look at then to now, yeah, things are a lot much better, still striving to be better, and just waiting for many other things to come to pass. So that's the end to my line.
That's right, man. That's right. God bless you. And if so, our next episode is going to be on a Sunday as well, because Saturday we have a whole day planned with the kids. But the next one, if you tune in on that one will be her interviewing me. Actually, we're going to do like a special episode for episode number 10, and it's going to be a tough one though, because it's going to be on something that I don't speak about often in my life. So if you want to tune in then, and anybody else who listens, they can tune in then, and it's gonna be a tough one. You'll get to learn something about me that you don't know, and my wife will get to ask a bunch of questions about a period in my life that I don't often talk about. It's a tough one. It's a tough period, but
it's like, let me put it this way, and I'm not trying to get to that topic as it is, but it's like Christ taking a chisel to you, but oh God, that hurts. Ow, God, that hurts. Ow. It's like, got it happen.
Yeah, to build me into the person I am today.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for that.
I like that analogy. That was really good
as well.
You're very welcome. And before we let each other go as it is, let's close up in a word of prayer quickly.
Yeah,
Go from
absolutely.
there. Lord Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful and beautiful day, upon for who you are, your grace, and just your glory just covering us. Thank you for just this wonderful time for being together for this amazing podcast and allowing this just to be able to shine to so many other people for who watch this. Again, thank you just for testimonies. Thank you for just working so many of our lives throughout for just the years that are coming by and the time that we've grown up, and just for this time at hand. Thank you for being Lord and God in our life, and Jesus for the cornerstone and for what so many other people do not have. Thank you for all these things and your love and your guidance. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that, and praise
Absolutely.
Jesus. We love you, Jesus, and hopefully people will hear that.
Absolutely.
And
Jesus loves everybody.
Amen.
start turning more towards the Lord.
Absolutely.
God bless, man. Have a good day. Enjoy
Absolutely.
the rest of your day.
You too.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Talk to you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye.